Hey everybody, sorry about that. Had technical issue with the mouse, so that was just unfortunate. Maybe you guys can hear me now. You have to put the mouse on recharge. I couldn't get rid of that front screen, so just the way it goes. I have to talk for a little bit, which is hard to do, and I'm not really used to talking. So let's go. Hope you guys are having a good time at the moment as I recharge my mouse. I should have probably done it earlier, but just the way it goes. Got my cup of tea though. Got to have a good cup of tea for the day. Hope you guys are enjoying out there. Now, we're going to be talking about Pulsechain, the blockchain, and crypto opportunities of 2024. And, of course, at the moment, the market prices, you're going to get a lot more Pulsechain tokens for your money, aren't you? So that's going to be pretty cool. Always pick up on the dips when there are dips in the game. And, of course, we're going to be talking about the Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs coming up as well. That's bullish news coming up early next week. So Monday to Wednesday should be pretty fun. And the old crypto market and the weekend could be very bullish indeed after we had that little mini flash crash on Bitcoin and Ethereum the other day. Was it 2 days ago now? So that should be cool. Or was it yesterday? Yeah, so I think it was yesterday. We're going to get into, we're going to have a look at all the ecosystem. We have a look at ecosystem map on Pulsechain. That's going to be pretty cool coming up. And we're also going to be looking at internet money with KG. Got a little video from him. I think it's pretty inspiring. It's short and sweet to the point. And then we're going to get into the Hex daily payouts, which should be fun as well. So we'll talk about that. All right. Let me see how the mouse is going here. And we'll probably switch over. Let's see if that's working. It is. Thank goodness for that, eh? Thank goodness for that. All right, let's get into the live stream. Bam. And let's get rid of that comment I had. We've got a couple of people in the house. We've got Sandy Beach. So Sandy Beach is here. Good to see you, Sandy. Who else has jumped in here? Joey Torres, what's up? Good to see you, Joey. Big shout out from Sandy Beach to everybody. We got Brennan in the house there. Good to see Brennan. In fact, I'll change that view back. We got Brian. What's up, folks? Good to see you, Brian. J Pond in the house there. Morning, morning, morning. And best show ever, says Brian. Thanks for that, Brian. And what's up, Tin Top is here. What's up, Hexkins? What's up, Hexkins? Good to see you, Tin Top. Welcome to the chat there. We got Pulsechain in the house there, memes on Pulsechain. Yeah, we got plenty of memes on Pulsechain. In fact, that's what's our category number 3 that we follow here on Superman Crypto, Hex Token channel, and Pulsechain YouTube. Streaming to over 10,500 subscribers every day for years now. It's been pretty fun, and I hope you guys enjoy the journey. Hello, Hex Token and gang from Solid. Good to see you, Solid. Big shout out. Let's go super, says Wookie. Hey, Wookie, appreciate that. And absolutely doing really well in there as well. So, all right, let's get into it. We've got some news to do, so let's talk about that. We're going to share the screen. Bam. Boom, let's go. In fact, I'm on the wrong view there. Yeah, I'll take that view, and let's get everything up and running. All right, so the stock market, the end of last year, it was breaking records. This year, the first couple of days, it's been profit-taking pretty much. So let's have a look at how we went on. The Dow Jones not really changed at all, up 10 points to 37,440. The S&P 500 down 0.3%, 16 points to 4,688. NASDAQ there down 0.5% at 81 points, down to 14,510. The US dollar just is pretty much flat at the moment at 102.15. And the commodities, West Texas there at $72, Brent oil at $77.70. They look pretty flat to slash downwards. Gold at the moment, 2,050. Coming off its recent all-time high at $21.50, and silver there at $23.20. And those are the ones to look out for when we get a interest rate pivot, probably either March or May, probably May in my view. Now, some of the comments here, bets on the Federal Reserve could start reducing rates this year, had driven much of the gains towards the end of 2023, though the latest minutes from the central bank's December policy meeting did not offer any clues on when the easing might commence. However, the market is kind of picking that May period. So let's have a look how far away we are from the Federal Reserve meeting. Let's check that out. 3 weeks and 5 days and 19 hours away from the Fed meeting, 31st of January at 2 p.m. Eastern. We're expecting, 94% expecting a no change in January. Nothing to see there, folks. March, however, is getting a bit more bullish. 64% is expecting, so 2/3 almost is expecting a pivot, although I'm not in that camp quite yet. Certainly sitting in the March camp with the May camp, with everybody else. We've got, 91.1% of people expecting a pivot in the May meeting, and I think that's probably reasonable now. 41.8. I was in the June camp, but definitely it looks like we possibly get there. We'll see how the inflation numbers go early in the year. So that is kind of it on the Federal Reserve and the stock market and commodities. Let's go to the crypto though. Back up after that little flash crash. BTC there at 44,415. Remember, we got to about 45,500. We flash crashed all the way down to 40,500, which is basically $5,000. That was pretty impressive. And of course, that we're now back up 3.5%. Crypto dominance there, 50.39% for Bitcoin, and Ethereum there at $2,279, back up 2.94%. We haven't quite broken into altcoin season yet, so that's still ahead of us. Just take that into account. Some of the standouts, of course, Solana there up 6% at $105, back over 100 again. That's been one of the big power movers. Of course, a lot of people talk about it being a VC chain. That's why it's got so much money flooding into it. Some of the other benefits, of course, we talked about yesterday were the Ethereum upgrades coming in January with the test nets. We went through that yesterday in detail, checked it out. And that is the beneficiaries of that, of course, Proto-Dank sharding is Optimism and Ethereum there. And of course, Optimism up today as well. Those are definitely something you could consider for your diversified portfolio, is those second layers, Optimism and Arbitrum, because they should benefit from the upgrades on Ethereum. And that's where the hype will go, right? That's where the hype will go. So food for thought, not financial advice, of course, but just logical probability there. And we've seen that already started to happen. Obviously, try and get on a pullback. Don't try and buy the local top. Generally not a good idea. And keep abreast of how the sentiment in the market and outlook is looking. Another one we saw do pretty well was BSV come out of nowhere. What did it pump from like $45 up to like $90 or so? That's another one we've been seeing operate. So it happened nowhere there. And that's pretty much it. BNB was up yesterday. That's up modestly today, 2%, $323. So that is kind of the play there at the moment on the market. Let's go over to the Bitcoin, have a little detail on that. Look at this. I mean, wow, that yellow line is a 20 EMA, and it's ticking up there. We had that big yesterday. Look at that, $5,000 of variation there. Amazing. And then we're back up today with a high so far of 44,800, almost back to where we were. Look how high we got up here. And we've still got, 5 days to go? 5 days to go until potentially the 10th. Now, we may get it on Monday. Could be the 8th. So definitely 8th to 10th. We're still in the ballpark, which would mean, only 4 days away, say. So the weekend could be very bullish indeed. You might get that challenging the top of the 48 to 45K range, maybe even the 50K. Let's see what happens there. See who's in town for buying. That's going to be fun to see. Now, we still have some of the, some of the big potential sellers there. So just remember that often Richard Hart talks about, and the billions of dollars. We'll see what happens to that this year as well. That's kind of the only hesitancy that Richard particularly has on trying to ascertain the bull market ahead. But that is where we are at the moment. So there we go. So we're ticking away there. And what else we got in the house? We've obviously got Bitcoin halving, looking like I got the 17th, but I think that's moved to the 15th. So we'll probably move that slightly. So Bitcoin halving in April. And then, of course, the Ethereum ETFs. I've got this mid-May, but it's kind of a placeholder for May. That's kind of when we're expecting that. So very bullish roadmap ahead of us. And if we get a Fed pivot in May as well, plus we start by June, July, getting some expansionary monetary supply. Now, the other thing is typically when the interest rates pivot. So let's say they pivot in May, we have a lag in the economy. Remember what the Fed's trying to do? They're trying to trade off inflation for employment, right? So we've started to see the employment, started to get hurt there a little bit. We see some of the Fed presidents talking about a soft landing. In other words, the economy has a soft landing from the high interest rates, because obviously high interest rates are a cost to capital. The higher they are, they crowd out capital investment and spending. And so that's kind of where we get there on the real economy. And so employment normally is lagged. And that's why we often see these impacts on corporates and on employment market get lagged. And so we see the worst of those effects at the end of the pivot. So the interest rates pivot, and then we see some bad performances in the market, and stock market often will retrace, and that's not generally good for crypto. So that could give us a hiccup in the crypto bull market. Just remember that is probably a very real thing. So statistically quite real. So just take that into account, that even though we might be in a bull market, there is the potential for a period, maybe 2 months or something like that, a couple of months, for a potential, real pullback before rallying on to some super rally. So just take that into account as we move forward. So bullish environment, but potential for that interest rate Fed pivot to cause some drama for a couple of months afterwards. So just take that into account. All right, so that's kind of the play there. The other thing, of course, is when gold had its ETFs, it also had a 50% retrace after the news came out. So we could have a bit of the buy the rumor, sell the news event. Although so many people are talking about it, it feels like maybe that won't happen. But of course, it probably will. So just take that into account. There might be some buying opportunities on the other side of next week. So we'll see what happens. Maybe the big institutional money decides to trip people out. Some of the big ETFs are talked about, from BlackRock, $10 million up to some of the ETFs up to $200 million of their own investment to set up in the system. And we see Saya also buying more as well. So it's lots of buyers in the market. All right, so that's kind of cool. Let's get into some of the news about that, because I know we love to talk about the news. We've got SEC has been backed into a corner, apparently, on the Bitcoin ETF approval. We've seen a lot of drama out there on the media talking about approval this week, and all the sort of rubbish and that, trying to tease the market. Lots of rumors going around. And, of course, a go-ahead from the SEC could trigger a $10 billion inflow into Bitcoin ETFs this year, says Bloomberg's James Steffart. That's the analyst that we've been following, obviously, on this. The SEC has been backed into a corner to approve the spot Bitcoin exchange-traded fund, in the opinion of Bloomberg analyst James Steffart. During a private webinar on CryptoQuant on January the 4th, Steffart said that the investment vehicle was a 90% chance of receiving a green light next week. So that's super bullish, but always there's a 10% chance that it's not going to happen. However, I do agree with Steffart that the lineup of the Bitcoin ETFs together is very bullish. And, of course, they have had some losses in the courts. They really want to go back there to the courts again. I don't think so. Although challenges may arise, the SEC is either going to have to come up with a new reason to reject them, because you've been denying these ETFs for all these reasons, so all these other reasons. Court said those reasons don't matter anymore, and now you're coming out with new reasons. So it doesn't look good when you're going back to the courts. It's going to weaken your case. I don't think there's an option for the SEC. The other option is to get them to withdraw, in which case, again, I don't think that's likely, because the SEC is backed into a corner here. I think they have to approve. So a bit of a good logic there. Steffart's comments refer to the latest developments following BlackRock's filing for a spot Bitcoin ETF in June. Since then, SEC officials have held dozens of meetings with asset managers in line for approval. Here's the other thing, right? So the BlackRock and those agencies, they're all part of the globalist system, right? So they're all that's all your mates. You're basically approving your mates, part of their little world to take over. So that sort of adds to the likelihood of approval. With asset managers in line for approval, address concerns and requesting adjustments. In addition, the regulator lost a court battle in August with one of the firms in the race, Grayscale, over the conversion of its over-the-counter Grayscale Bitcoin Trust into a listed BTC ETF. In addition, analysts shared his thoughts on Matrix Ports, which we covered the other day. Latest report on potential rejection of all proposals. We just completely disagree, to be honest. Clarifying that concerns about approval requirements or Coinbase's role in surveillance agreements have been addressed over the previous months through amendments made by asset managers. And then the third option, which I'm kind of worried about at the back of my mind, is like somebody going nuclear, like Gary just kind of doing, I guess, denying would be going nuclear, which I don't think that's going to happen. There is a super huge tail risk event. A go-ahead in the coming days could bring $10 billion in inflows into Bitcoin ETFs in the first year. According to Steffart, I do not think we're going to get over the 100 billion in the first year or two. To put that perspective, gold ETFs have about 100 billion in the US in total, and I think that's pragmatic. I think that's really, really on the money there. Furthermore, Steffart warned that widespread adoption could take weeks or even months, since institutional investors will likely carry out due diligence before adding the cryptocurrency to their portfolios. And that's true. So the low-hanging fruit is going to be easy to get on. The money is going to come slowly. But then there's a lot of risk management and education that for the rest of the US corporates and international corporates that will follow, and probably even sovereign institutions. So it does take time. It's definitely going to be a multi-year process, but the low-hanging fruit is going to be quite juicy, as we say at the beginning. So and ramp up over time. A lot of big institutions, these warehouses, these platforms where brokers or advisors work, they can't just buy anything they want, and that's true. And there's like an approved list and not an approved list, the analyst explained, and that is very true. You got to realize there are some of the most sophisticated traders in the world. It's not like some random person in their basement clicking buy on Coinbase. Is he talking about us? I don't know. Is he talking about us? Check that you're in your basement. These are sophisticated people getting exposure. What? Are they saying we're under-sophisticated? This is how the globalist elites work, guys. This is how they work. They all condescending bunch of you know what's. Anyway, we'll move on. The final decision by the SEC is due by January the 10th. SEPA anticipates they collected approval for all the applicants, knowing that Grayscale's conversion might require a few additional days compared to the other proposed funds. So there we are. There's a great summary. Hope you guys enjoyed that on the BTC. So we're getting very close, Monday to Wednesday next week. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we're getting there. You can see we're very close, and the market's looking good. The weekend could be pretty spectacular, and then maybe next week gets a bit risky. We're going to buy the rumor, sell the news. Let's see how we go. Now, we will have all that money coming in afterwards, so even if there's a sell the news, the money could come in quickly afterwards and soap up all that cheap Bitcoin. So that may not last very long, right? May not last very long at all. All right, so let's have a look at Ethereum. Ethereum at the moment, of course, went down pretty dramatically. Yesterday, it had a high of 2,385, a low of 2,100. Today, it's back at $2,270. And nicely, I hope you picked up some cheap Ethereum. We've made some pretty nice little gains there. And we are back up to just below the 20 EMA there at the moment. So the exponential moving average just below that at the moment. And we have some news around the Ethereum ETFs. Obviously, we're calling for May for that. Ether ETF likely coming as SEC implicitly nodded ETH as a commodity. According to Bloomberg ETF analyst James Defi, the U.S. securities regulator implicitly accepted ETH as a commodity when it greenlit Ethereum futures ETFs. And of course, let's check that out. The United States SEC regulator implicitly accepted ETH as a commodity when it approved Ethereum futures, meaning a spot ETF variant is likely set for this year. And that is according to James Defi, who we've been following pretty closely. And who just did that Bitcoin ETF commentary. Speaking during Crypto Quant's private seminar on January 4th, Stefan alluded to the approval of Ethereum future ETFs in October 2023, knowing that SEC did not challenge the token classification through the ETF registration process with the Commodity Futures Exchange Commission, the CFTC. The CFTC is blatantly calling Ethereum a commodity. They do not call them securities. The SEC has approved Ethereum futures ETFs. So again, Gary Gensler will not explicitly say whether Ethereum is a security or commodity, but in their action by approving Ethereum futures ETFs, they implicitly accepted those Ethereum futures as commodity futures. Hurrah, hurrah, lashings of ginger beer all around. Hope you guys are enjoying the ginger beer. There we go. All right, it's getting more bullish for this year, right? This year. Stefan said the SEC likely had no bandwidth to dispute the token classification. The first ETH future ETFs in the US were listed for trading on October the 2nd, with several investment firms launching a total of 9 funds on the Chicago Board's options exchange, the CBOE, including ProShares, Vanite, Bitwise, Valkyrie, Kelly, and VolShares. According to Step Up, the SEC could find itself in court and have to unlist future ETFs if it deemed either a security. That'd be true. Classification matters, and securities and commodities ETFs face different legal requirements with different taxes and regulatory burdens attached to the securities. So there we go. And Jane Steffert says here on the X social platform, here we go. Expect more spot Ethereum ETFs filings in the coming days. Remember, if we're looking at May, there's still plenty of time. Note there, this is an S1 and not a 19B4, which means it does not start a clock in any way. Yet expect 19B4s soon. So it's really going to kickstart that. Boom, ARK just filed a spot Ethereum ETF. The first one probably more imminent. So I think we're up to 8 now, Ethereum ETFs, and I think we've got about 13 Bitcoin ETFs at the moment, last time I checked. So that is from ARK 21s. And we'll probably have a lot more Ethereum ETFs there coming up. It wouldn't just be the SEC going against the crypto industry. If they called Ethereum a security, it'd be going against the sister regulatory CFTC. That's why I think we could see a potential Ethereum ETF approved this year as well. So Bitcoin ETFs in January, very likely, and of course Ethereum ETFs in May. So it could be absolute bonanza there for crypto. The SEC has recently lost a court case under similar dispute in which exempted the Spikes Index, stock volatility index, from the definition of security futures under claims of promoting competition. Among such indexes, there's precedents here to say it matters how these things are registered, said Step Up. And of course, the SEC has a final decision coming up for Vanite, ARK's 21 shares, and Hashtag's spot ETFs in May 24, with other spot Ethereum ETF decision deadlines coming in the months following. So that's kind of how we're going to get probably a couple approved in May and then have the rest follow up after that. Before it, however, the regulator must disclose, of course, its verdict on the spot Bitcoin ETFs. And of course, that is next week, Monday to Wednesday, and Wednesday being the 10th of January there. Setup predicts the approval by January 10th of 10 billion flying into Bitcoin ETFs, within a 12-month. And of course, that 10 billion has a multiplier effect and also plays into the altcoin run right after Bitcoin. So it could be super, super bullish, right? That's what we're looking for. So that's a pretty full update there of Ethereum. So hope you guys enjoyed that. It's coming up in May. It's going to be good times in rock and roll. That's going to lead us into Pulsechain. We're going to be talking about day 237. Before we do that, though, let's catch up on the chat. See who else has jumped in here. Let's see, is here. We got up to solid, I know that much. We've got Big Kahuna in the house there. Big Kahuna. Craig Pitt, morning all. Good to see Craig Pitt. Morning Superman, liking the green, the color green. BTC halving soon, says Pulsedemic. Yeah, it's going to be fun. April. Looks like April the 15th. Not sure why it moved from the 17th, but maybe it's just to do with the number of blocks and things. Hello all, Hex, EHEX, BLX, BLXX. Center for the win, 100% lies beneath the golden crypto strategy of this channel, the Richard Hart coins. And of course, at the moment, you can get them for a discount, which means you get a lot more volume. And you always buy when people are fearful, right? That's what you want to do. Not financial advice, of course, but probably. Pulsechain is my option for Ethereum. We get all Ethereum upgrades too, says Tintop. That is so true. Pulsechain is a full system state copy of Ethereum, so we do get the upgrades. And of course, Bretep and the Pulsechain devs, keeping tabs on all that, which is pretty exciting. Red Squirrel in house there. Oi, good to see Red Squirrel. It's been a while. Good to see you back in the chat. And of course, Pumpkin Owl as well. Good to see Pumpkin Owl. Maddie and Barley as well. Howdy, Matt. Good to see you too. And we've got Toby Wan back in the chat here. Toby Wan was in yesterday, was it? Or the day before. Good to see Toby Wan crushing it out there as an influence in the space, right? It takes a lot of the community members, influencers and all that, get the word out. We're going to be talking about that topic today, about, influencers. Obviously, we've got Maddie Allen's hosting a ginormous influencer conference and community conference next week. So that's going to be fun to see. And I think it's over 100 influencers going to be on that. Also, he's going to be doing something quite unique with AI multi-languages. So he's going to turn a lot of stuff into multi-languages, spread it around the internet. So it could be a really big trending thing. So a big shout out to Maddie for his innovations in the space. Every time we're trying to, break new ground, break new frontier, just like Pulsechain is breaking ground on the frontier of DeFi, which is pretty awesome. All right, let's get back into it. Let's see where we're going here. Bam. Let's get Pulsechain. All right, we got day 237 on Pulsechain. The price of Pulse at the moment, quadruple 0546, down 5% at 55% of the mean sacrifice price. So really good discount there. PLSX there at quadruple 015, down 5%, 15% sacrifice price. Still way below, of course. So good opportunities there. And we got Power City Earn Protocol coming very, very soon. So that is the pick of the day at the moment. PulseX could be amazing. Of course, the Power City Earn Protocol fork of liquidity. It's going to do what Liquid Loans has done to Pulse. It's going to be able to collateralize PulseX, take that off the market, issue a new stablecoin PXDC, our third stablecoin on Pulsechain. And of course, its potential for high earnings and of course a more buy pressure on PulseX and more removing supply. So buying and removing supply is a big deal. So we're looking forward to that on PulseX. I have a kind of feeling that it could be a bigger impact than even Pulse. It's going to be interesting to see how close that is to truth. But I think so. The borrowing amount is lower than on Liquid Loans as well. It's $500 versus $2,000 there. So yeah, watch out for that one. That's in addition to the buy and burn, of course. That's in addition to the buy and burn. And of course, the buy and burn there now up at 632 billion, 360 million. PulseX is now bought up and burned and off the market. And that's currently 3.08% of all the public supply, which is pretty amazing, exciting to see. Now, the other thing, of course, is that there are single-side staking out there. I mean, I'm thinking of Beetroot's got their Sugar Sweets. You can Sugar Sweet. You can do single-side staking there. 9inch has still got their farms up and running. The yield's relatively low for liquid, but it's okay for stake, depending on how you like that platform or not. And that's kind of where we are there with PulseX. So looking for more third-party protocols also to give more utilization to PulseX as well. So keep a lookout for that. Obviously, talking about single-side staking on PulseX and things like that, potentially the DAO. I could see a huge role for the DAO. And of course, that leads us into incentive token. A lot of people could be betting on the incentive token being a big role in the future as well. And of course, could surprise people to the upside there. We're at the moment 47 cents on the incentive token, down 7.7% today. The ratio, though, which is probably more important, is 8,728 Pulse per one incentive. And of course, at the moment, we're heading towards 21 million in supply. These are all produced from the Pulsex farms, which we looked at yesterday. I bring up Pulsex farm yields every couple of, every so often, just to check to see how they're going, and they're going very well. The yields that you're getting on there, particularly stablecoins, are pretty amazing. Burned, of course, 117,000 through TRH protocol. So incentive token does have a burning mechanism there, at least facilitated by third-party protocols as well. Hex, of course, is at just under 82 hundredths of a penny, down 3.9% at the moment. And of course, if you haven't followed Toby One, he does a lot of Hex charts, particularly eHex, I think, but definitely check out his charts on Toby One there if you like to see a TA perspective. And of course, there we are at the moment on eHex at 45 hundredths of a penny. So hey, look, 1.27 cents for the combined price of eHex and PX. That's a pretty good deal. I really feel good about Hex leading into the bull market. And of course, once again, you buy when people are fearful. That is when you pick up all the volume, right? That's kind of the play. All right, so that's day 237. Let's get into the charts. This is the chart on Pulsechain. So definitely really big pullback. We have pretty much this run its course on the bullish cross and the breakout. Are we going to come back and test this line? Now, you might see on different influences, like I know David Feder, is it David Feder? I think David Feder has a chart like this, and you might see different lines here, maybe even Access Alive and people like that to do a lot of TA stuff. But at the moment, we've got this. Are we coming back to test this line, and then we're off to the races after that? Right, so we've still got our uptrend. Look, we've still got our uptrend in here. That's still intact. So we're coming back to test this breakout. It's very bullish, really. I know it looks sort of pretty red at the moment, but actually it's kind of technically still looks pretty good in my view. So let's see if it bounces off here. We could get to 35,200 and bounce off the way we go. Right, 5,000 is pretty important support, and then away we go off to the races. Now you can see, if we go full screen on this, that we've got a lot of projects coming, right? Look at all these projects coming ahead of us. So that's going to be pretty exciting to see. The other big thing is that Tetra today on its DEX aggregator has added in PHUX. That's a big news. I was supposed to bring it up, but PHUX has been added in there. We might look at that a bit later. That's big news there. And I think they only had Pulsex up to this point. Now have PHUX as well, which is the second biggest TVL protocol on Pulsechain after liquid loans, right? So excluding Pulsex. So let's say it's number 3 if we're including Pulsex. So pretty big deal. All right, so buy when people are fearful. That's what we say. And the RSI has really cooled off down to 39 here. And that's the way to go. So looking pretty good. All right, let's jump over to Pulsex. Like I say, Pulsex got to be the pick right now, right? Powers to the Earn protocol coming, one of the juggernaut protocols on Pulsechain. That's got to be the pick of the day, Pulsex, and pick of the day, or pick of the early year. Let's put it that way. We got quadruple 01500 at the moment on that, and we also had obviously our bullish cross here, our bearish cross here. So definitely a chance to pick up some of this. Now this could be a fake out, so just take care out there and don't get too caught out there. 1500, you can pick up some volume out down this price range. Pretty exciting to see. Let's have a look at the chart here at the moment. We've got tightening Bollinger Bands as well. That's typically a bullish point. They're not quite tight enough yet, though. You see how it was tight up here? We got really tight with this narrow Bollinger Bands, and then we had a bullish EMA cross, and away we went. Right, so that's still definitely in there. And, of course, we've got a big fundamental juggernaut Powers to the Earn protocol coming very soon in the new year. 41 on the RSI too, so pretty chill. What do we call it? Pulsex and chill? I'm not sure if that's, is this an adult channel? I don't know. But there, Pulsex and chill, that's how we rock and roll. All right, let's go to incentive token. Let's have a look. At the moment, we've got 48 cents on the price, but let's look at the ratio to Pulse. That is currently at 8,660. We did have a nice little rally on this, little fade out here. And at the moment, this the bottom has pretty much been 8,500. We're just above that at the moment. That's an incentive token. PHEX, of course, it's a pretty similar story to the Pulsechain there. Coming back and testing, we had a nice little breakout of this resistance. We've still got this kind of weak support line at the bottom here. But once again, we're breaking out through this key area here. We had a bullish EMA cross there. Got faked out, though. And then we're now in a bearish one here at the moment. And we're going to test it and off to the races. Right, at some point we get that final capitulation, and then it's off to the races, and you get left behind, right, with the PHEX. So be careful. I know some people are trying to sell PHEX and other stuff or different things, and you guys know what I'm talking about. But of course, don't get fuddled out, right? And of course, I played the video yesterday, right, of Richard Hart. Let's play that now, actually, while we go ahead. Let's get into that. It's probably a good time. All right, let's do that. Bam.
Pulsechain has higher throughput, better security, lower environmental impact to the point of nearly none, is a newer coin with more features, is faster than Bitcoin. But Bitcoin has an $800 billion market cap. Pulsechain doesn't. Why? Well, we're new. We're on the way, right? Things will get better, in my opinion. So like, oh, and for you listening, is that a forward-looking price statement? Nope, not a forward-looking price statement, not financial advice. So we've got a wonderful network. We've got wonderful features. We've got wonderful airdrop. There's, you can do lending on the Pulsechain network. There's projects that let you borrow coins. There's projects that there's stable coins on Pulsechain. There's all types of stuff people have launched on Pulsechain. Guys, the network is good. Works great. Oh, and the bridge is free too. Somebody set the bridge to 0 fee so that using the bridge has no fee, both directions. So if you go to bridge.pulsechain.com, there's no fees currently. In, out, either way, no fees. Now you're going to pay a fee on the Ethereum network. Nothing you can do about that. That's Ethereum's side, right? So you got a great network, and you got a ton of free coins, and it's been worked flawlessly for 7 months. Go make it great, guys. You can launch stuff on it, use it, build fiat on-ramps, make a money transmitter in your state, make a licensed money transmitter in your state, and you can, make the community better.
All right, so there a bit of encouragement there from Richard about the future of Pulsechain. And also, of course, we played the other day, yesterday, I think it was, the Magic Carpet Ride video as well. So we'll see how we get on in the future. But, of course, the community plays a big role. It is DeFi. It is on the chain. So it really is the community getting out, the devs, the community, and influencers and other stuff like that to get out constantly and push the chain. So there we go. Now, just to pull this up here on Tetra, PHUX pools are now live on omnis.tetra.run for swaps and limit orders. So there are limit orders on the chain, which is pretty cool. So cool. Right, that is on Tetra, and you can check that out. I'll post a link to that if you want in the chat there around the limit orders. So what's that, Tetra? Check it out. Give some support. Smash a like and all that sort of stuff. Share it around. This is how we grow together. Sharing is caring, as they say. Sharing is caring. There we go. All right, so that is Tetra, looking pretty good. So that is PHUX at the moment. Let's have a look at the RSI. And, of course, the RSI is cooled off at 36. The MACD is obviously in the sell territory, but this is an opportunity where you can buy, pick up as well. Kind of cool. All right, that is PHEX. EHEX at the moment. We're on the daily here. Yeah, EHEX here, similar story. We had a fake out bullish cross and then a bearish cross here. And of course, at the moment, 4,500th of a penny. So pretty good value there at the moment. You can see the lowest we've got down to pretty much is around a 2,800th of a penny. But we've still got these high lows at the moment. And of course, up and away. That's how it's going to rock and roll. All right, so that's kind of cool. That leads us into the rest of the remaining topics there. Validators. Let's have a look at. We are 50,298 validators, which is pretty awesome. Now, the other thing, of course, you can now validate with NFTs on Pulsechain. I said Pulsechain's leading, not only is it the people's chain, but it's also leading the DeFi revolution there. And you can now do that through David Feder's group. You can now, not only is he dominating through the validator store, 55% of validators have gone through David Feder's validator store. 55%, but now he's also offered a new innovative NFT validating for those that don't have 32 million pulse. Maybe you're a small retail player, you can get those NFTs, and I think it's 64 NFTs equal one full-on validator. And yesterday they started off a big validating, which is pretty cool. So I think that's exciting. We might pull that up a bit later, but that is the play. 1.61 trillion is now off the market, so that's about 10%. If we add on 10% of pulses off the market, can you believe that, through validators? Let's find liquid loans and add that in, because if you add liquid loans in, then it's a huge amount of pulse that is now off the market that we didn't have before, right? This is the profound impact. 951 billion pulse is now off the market there. That's super bullish. That's about 6%, which is fantastic. And we've got $25.2 million in USDL stablecoins as well, which is the number one stablecoin on Pulsechain, ahead of DAI or eDAI from Ethereum, which is super bullish. So good news. What will Power City do? Going to be fun to see. Gas prices, of course, super cheap on Pulsechain. 125,000 beats, two tenths of a penny for a Pulsex swap, 1/100th of a penny for a Pulsecoin transfer, and 400th of a penny for a PRC20 transfer. 5,900 times cheaper than Ethereum and 32,000 times cheaper than Bitcoin. So it's a great place to do business. But here's more important, right? There are other chains that are fast and cheap. Obviously, this is a full system state copy of Ethereum, however. But the key one, and it's a layer one. But the other thing is that what we have on the protocols, we have a lot of compounding protocols. So you can compound your heart's content, which you need a cheap chain to do that. A fast chain helps as well. The second thing, of course, on Pulsechain, we have a lot of profit sharing protocols. And that's the other thing. So those are really the things to push, right? Those are things to tell people about. Hey, look, you can compound, you can get profit sharing, and tell your friends. Obviously, the network effect is what everybody's after. And this is really the big sell things, right? We've got the latest DeFi innovations, DeFi adding value to you. You can leverage those, right? You can leverage those opportunities, and you can do it super fast and super cheap on a layer one Ethereum, basically Ethereum blockchain through Pulsechain. So it's pretty bullish stuff, really, and I love it. And of course, being so much cheaper than the others is kind of cool too. Who likes to pay $50, $150 for a Ethereum transfer or swap or something, or even approve? No one wants to do that in the bull market, and of course that's going to make Pulsechain even more enticing when people are paying that sort of ridiculous cost. So you guys know what it's like if you've been there in the last bull market. So kind of cool. That is day 237. We're going to move on to day 238. Before we do that, let's check out some of the other categories. We're going to look at the top PRC20s on Pulsechain. At the moment, we've got PDAI. That is up 10%. Now, Richard talked about PDAI in his Christmas video, didn't he? He talked about the fact that, potentially admin keys and stuff like that. But at the moment, that seems to be operating pretty well. Its relationship to Atropa as well has been obviously highlighted. Atropa is up 10% as well. So they're sort of chugging along. Some people in that community are particularly bullish about the dollar mark. We'll see what happens in that space. But in any case, the market will price them up over time. Treasury Bill and Teddy Bear, the two new coins, they're pretty much flat at the moment. And Wrap Bitcoin, which I think is pretty interesting in terms of the bull market with Bitcoin going up, is currently at $52.90. So keep watching this one as well. Definitely something to consider having in your speculative portfolio on the old Pulsechain. That's pretty much it amongst the top PRC20s today. Obviously, everything down with the down day at the moment. Let's go to our next category, which is meme coins category number 3. And at the moment, we're always sorting by liquidity, right? So we've got the top liquidity at the top there. So we're looking at the stuff that has a lot of economic interest into it. Access at the moment is down 2.3% at $9,000. So it's come off its high move there. Access is another influencer in the Pulsechain X community, chilling out there. And that is currently at $9,000, up coming off the top there at $13,600. Look at that. Wow, had such a big run, man. Though there are opportunities on Pulsechain. Look at this. I mean, it had a huge run for a month before pulling back on the old Axis. That's pretty impressive. And so there are opportunities if you're going to look out for them. You've got to look out for them. You've got to get study. You've got to study out and see what's a good project, what's not a good project, what's a pump and dump, what's not a pump and dump. You have to get educated. You have to be into it. You have to. We've got some people in our community, in our Discord, that spend a lot of time and they pick out the gems. They find the gems, and they've been doing very well because they've been, it almost becomes like a sixth sense once you do enough of it, and you find out what's rubbish and what's good stuff to get into. So far, so good on Access Alive. I think we've got a super sticker in there, have we? Just jumped in the mix. Shock Vault there, Steamboat Shilly Community, Dex Tools, Dick Screener, and Burned LP. Thanks, Schultz Vox, there for $5.55, and appreciate the Hex reference there. So big shout out. All right, what else? Let's jump into the. Jump into some of the other meme coins. Note token from Randy Alaski, down 2%. I understand they're having a little issues there with the 9-inch team regarding incentives. They're going to set up some incentive pools with their voting power. Nothing seems to have happened in that place. So I don't know whether that's a big issue. I know Randy's very resourceful, so we'll see what he comes up with in the future with his Patreon group and stuff like that. So that's a note token. What else there? We've got Mega is pretty much up 1.8% at the moment. Reflux there is up 3.9%. That's kind of the Dodge is up 5.9% there. So there are a little bit of gainers. More token from influencer Trayvon is up 4% at the moment at 19 cents. That definitely seems down on the low side there. Floppy Slippers is down 5%, and Hex Orange address there from, was it A-Bit and the crew, That is down 16%, or up 16% at the moment, I should say. And they're doing a lot of viral marketing, right? So different teams do different things, and they're out and about doing that. So that's kind of the memes. Let's get to the main event, though. Pulsechain projects. You've got to bring it on, the Pulsechain project in the main event here. And the liquidity at the moment, what do we got here? Hey, we've got another one here, a shock vault there, coming in with the 369. We have Hexkins and Telegram who are in. It's safe, says shock vault. Yeah, always do your own due diligence, though. But once again, you've got to have a good value proposition, and appreciate the support of the channel. Woohoo! All right, what else we got there? Yeah, I don't know any of those projects, so I cannot endorse them, but I do appreciate the super stickers there and the free advertising. All right, so what else we got down there? We've got the top ones here for the Pulsechain projects. Let's see what is sort of performing. Tetra up 1.1% there. You would have thought Tetra would have got a bit more of a boost from the news today, of course, around the PHUX pools and the limit orders. But hey, look, it's probably a bit delayed. So these things are already delayed. If we get a green day, maybe it's going to super rally. Keep a lookout for Tetra. Definitely one of our better protocols, right? I liken Tetra to the Jacobs ecosystem. I kind of put it up there where they're very innovative, pushing really the DeFi frontier. Very, very cool to have Tetra operating on Pulsechain. What else is? Everything is pretty much down. We got a couple of little sites there. Mitra is up 2.7%. That's the one of the 5 NFT marketplaces. Time dividend is up 3.87%. Now, I talked to you about profit sharing, right? Time dividend is a perfect example of that. That is part of the Internet Money Wallet, which is now full-on commercial. The last couple of days, so it's gone full-on commercial. We'll be talking about a lot more on this channel now that it has got its final audits and moved into commercial mode. And of course, time, you get a share of the profits on each chain. You've got 4 different chains, Pulsechain, of course, and it's a big deal for Pulsechain. Big shout out to KG for that. We're going to be talking about that in a minute. That's up 3.9% today, and yeah, we'll be watching that. Now, obviously, a wallet where you got profit sharing, that instead of Uniswap getting all the money, you get all the money. If you've got the time token in there, you get all the swapping revenue. So I do encourage you to use that. They are integrating with all the best DEX integrators, I believe. I think it's Bateas. So it's pretty good from that point of view. Communist is up a massive 68%. Ho, ho, ho. Can't keep communists down, apparently. The good old communists. Look at that. Pump the last couple of hours. Let's have a look on the daily on communists. There we are. Big green candle on communists there. Someone pumped it today. It's only got 10K liquidity, so it's easier to pump, but still that is up today at the moment. So let's get into time token quickly, and we're going to move on from there. We're going to talk about the ecosystem and Pulsechain. I talked about Pulsechain, the blockchain of crypto opportunities in 2024. We ain't kidding. There's a lot of projects coming, well over 180 projects. Many of them still yet to launch. So it's going to be fun to see. This is this is created by Pulse Wallet at the moment, and it's Pulsechain ecosystem. There are a couple of other different ecosystems diagrams. We've got them all in our Discord under useful under project links. If you go to project links in our Discord, you will find 3 big diagrams of the Pulsechain ecosystem. They're all very different, and some of them have more projects than others. One of them is Power City. Another one's another member of the community. I just forget his name at the moment. But this one here is from Pulse Wallet. Pretty nice looking setup here. You can see we've got all these tokens over on the right here. We've got off-ramps, on-ramps, gaming, information, markets, charity, new updated ones here, and memes, Hex information, exchanges, wallets, tools, cross-chain solutions, metaverses, and NFTs, and DeFi. And of course, DeFi is the place where I like to live. You can see a lot of the top DeFis in here. Very, very cool. Obviously, social media too. Social platforms are growing all the time. I can see a lot of projects that are missing off here, but they're on some of the other diagrams, but definitely a pretty exciting place to be on Pulsechain. There's lots of stuff for everybody. And of course, the high value ones, particularly exchanges and DeFi, they're definitely pretty high value. And of course, you can try and find some value amongst the on-ramps and other places here as well. So it's pretty good looking diagram. Now, if you want to look at this and other diagrams, definitely check it out in our Discord under Pulsechain projects. And of course, the link to the Discord, I'll be talking about that at the end of the live stream. So that's pretty cool on that one. And it's just growing all the time. It's growing all the time. We've got a ton of launches coming up early this year. So stay tuned. The biggest one of those, of course, is going to be Power City ecosystem, which has got 5 different protocols. One of them is out already, Power City Core, which is a cross-chain, on-chain DEX aggregator. So you can use that. They have a lot of cool features there. And of course, we're waiting for the rest of their protocols to launch as well. So it's going to be fun to see. All right, so that is a diagram there. Let's jump over to Internet Money. Now, if you haven't downloaded Internet Money, the wallet is fully commercial now. Had the final audits, and it was in beta for quite a long time. They have very cool branding. I really like the alien branding. So we have 2 projects on Pulsechain at least that have alien branding. I love aliens and sci-fi, so it suits me to a T. So yeah, that is it. Start earning passive income by the time, hold the time token on each chain, and you get a share of the profits as well. So a very cool idea in the bull market, right? And spreading the word is you get paid yourself. You pay yourself to all that sort of network effect referrals. I like that because people do it with their own volition. You're not having to force anything. People want to buy and sell. They can, you get a little click, little ticker on the way. And of course, you got lots of volume. You get big money. That's why Uniswap, is earning what $100 million plus a year, depending on whether it's a bear or bull market. And of course, you could get a share of those profits as the wallet gets bigger and bigger and bigger over time, growing with the chain development. All right, so that is that. And I wanted to talk quickly about KG. KG talked about all these projects. So we showed that diagram of all the projects. That's just one of a couple of diagrams. And of course, KG's really done a big call out, and I think it's very important. And so let's listen to KG here about that.
Who has been on this journey with us, every person who will join us on this journey, welcome. If you ever have any questions, join the Telegram community. All the resources you need are at internetmoney.io. And for every person that wants to see this project successful, myself, Don, the Internet Money co-founder, Don Montoya, our entire development team, we're going to continue to do everything in our power to see this project succeed. And I have expectations of my work. But now, each and every single member of this community who is watching, this project is only going to be successful if every single one of you, including myself, analyzes their unique set of skills, whatever that may be. And I mean, whatever that may be. Hone in on those skills, apply them to the Internet Money wallet, onboard your unique community, whether it's one person or 100 million people. You speak and resonate in such a way that only you can. Harness those skills, apply them to Internet Money, expect to see results from your work. And if every single person is doing that, this project, this wallet, this community has no choice but to be successful. I'm KG, and until next time, peace.
So I think everyone can agree with that sentiment with individual projects, anything that you're particularly invested in, anything on Pulsechain as a broader community. It really matters, right? It really matters that you get out, you spread the word, you tell people, you tell about the opportunities of compounding, the opportunities of profit sharing. These are the things that really matter over time. And yeah, they matter a lot more than pushing benefits like cheaper and faster. But is talking about the real quality DeFi opportunities that are out there, and NFT space. If there's people like that sort of artwork sort of thing, there's lots of different something for everybody on Pulsechain. And of course, we've got so many more projects to be launching in 2024. It's going to be crypto opportunities galore. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So definitely get out there, do your part, play your part. The community matters. Richard Hart always said the biggest thing that surprised him to the upside was the community, and the community has grown, really, really huge. And I don't get too concerned when people in the community are talking about other things in crypto. Hey, look, crypto's got so many things into it, so I wouldn't worry about that. Just get out and about and spread the word about Pulsechain. The opportunities are pretty amazing as well. So I thought that was pretty cool. I want to play that video there from KG, which is pretty neat. We're going to quickly get into Algo, so let's pull that up. Let's do that. So I posted the link to Internet Money. You can download that wallet and check that out. Now, Internet Money, MetaMask, if you're using that, has a lot of issues with it, right? It's security, privacy. You get painful when it always asks you for too much Ethereum to do transactions, all that sort of stuff. It's got pretty crazy stuff. So definitely consider Internet Money wallet, which is really custom to Pulsechain too, right? It is multi-chain, but really does serve Pulsechain very well with preloaded coins and lots of other cool stuff in it. So it's very, very cool and cool branded as well. All right, let's move on to Algo. Now, if you haven't checked out Algo, we've talked about Coast, talked about Power City, talked about liquid loans. They've got 3 stable coins. Now, Algo is going to be an algorithmic stable coin, so it's going to be our first one on the Pulsechain. Maybe the only one we ever see, who knows? But PUSD Algo, is coming. That is by Jacob's Ecosystem. And of course, Jacob, they're one of the most innovative devs in the planet, just like Tetra is innovative. We're seeing a lot of innovation here in this space as well. So definitely check it out. I've done heaps of videos on this. I've interviewed Jacob twice. I'm supposed to have an interview on his other projects at the end of the year, but obviously he's got busy at the end of the year there. So hopefully we'll queue something up for the beginning of in January sometime. Talking about the other projects like TYRHV V4, and of course TYZZ on BNB, and of course PulsePot on Pulsechain. These sort of projects coming up as well. There's apparently another project as well he's working on. He's got multiple teams. He's kind of like a project manager now, running these teams. But they are pushing the innovation of DeFi, and I support that, right? That's what I want to see on Pulsechain. That's what adds value to Pulsechain. It's no use having people, like, it's great having forks, and we love the forks. The forks have been very good, particularly forks like PH Universe. We love to see innovation like Petius and Tetra and other projects. Internet Money, of course, in the crew. But we definitely need protocols and devs that are really, really cool, that can actually deliver big innovation on Pulsechain. That's really what we're looking for to help solve the scalability issue, particularly PUSD, who's going to play a role in that, and also the TVL, total value locked. Also, the bigger that is, the bigger whales will come. And of course, the scalability is a big deal because you can just keep scaling. You're not constrained by anything. And that's through the algo coin, right? So I've done lots of videos on this, but there's 4 days to go to get into the sacrifice. Remember, the sacrifice is not like other sacrifices. You don't have to wonder where the money goes. 75% of the money is going straight back into the liquidity pools and the stability miner to make the protocol work, right? So you know where the money's going. The other 25% is going to developers. Of course, these are very smart people, cost them a lot of time and money to do it. So that's kind of the play there. You get to participate in their genius, as it were. So 50% is going to the liquidity pools, and 25% is going to the stability miners. Now, there's one caveat. They do have to reach a certain total, and so they're all going to be out. Jacob's going to be giving us an update on that in the future, so stay tuned for that. But at the moment, there's 390,000, including incentives, so you can get part of that. Now, if you want to get, there's two bonuses to participate in the sacrifice. You can use tokens on Pulsechain or Ethereum. These are the list here, and you just have to send them to this address at the top. Now, the link to this is in the video description, so you can find this on PUSD Algo. This will be the 4th stablecoin and potentially has unlimited scalability, subject to the market, of course, and will also benefit from less constraints on supply and demand for these kind of stablecoins as well. It's going to be fully DeFi. Very important to remember, fully DeFi. And that means that there's going to be no humans getting involved like there was with Terra Luna. There's none of this manipulation. There's none of the constraints that they had in that system, particularly around Anchor, and the yields won't be so aggressive like 20%. They're much more modest and practical related to the system. So it's definitely going to be a great place to be. And I really do like the Flex token as well. It's basically anything you do on the platform, you're going to get rewarded for, and that's going to be paid through your utility of the V3 fees, which I think is a master play. And that's going to be very exciting to see this play out. Now, obviously, teams like PHUX and Petius and things like that have already contacted them. They're very keen on this project as well. The size of this could be really huge. We are kind of looking for killer apps on Pulsechain, right? Remember when Base launched, they had their Friends app. A lot of people got into that. It was a bit of a craze. We are kind of looking for things like that, but we want it more sustainable than the Friends app, right? We want it more sustainable, and these are the sort of protocols that could give us that sort of potentiality of a kind of a killer app, that scalability, that's sustainable, and helps to grow Pulsechain. So I think it's pretty cool. Now, this is more speculative, of course. Full of DeFi mechanism through limit orders and stability miners is kind of new tech. And so you just got to take that into account as well. Now, there are 2 bonuses. One is the referral bonus. You get 90% referral bonus if you use the one in the video description. And number 2 is that if you do have $1,000, you get a bonus X multiplier. At the moment, that's between 1.01 and 2X. It's a randomly distributed to, so you don't know what you're going to get if you do over $1,000, inclusive of the referral bonus, 9% in the video description. There are only 4 days to go with the official sacrifice launch. Now, I don't know whether he's going to extend it. I gather he may do extension on this, so it may be last longer in terms of him reaching his money goals, so he can set up all the liquidity pools. He's got to set up like 4 or 5 liquidity pools. They've all got to probably be, my guess, maybe around 200,000 each, which is going to be pretty big on Pulsechain, as you guys can tell by a lot of the pools that are on there. So it's going to be significant. You've got to have it big enough for it to scale and to attract a lot of the bigger players. So it's going to be fun to see. And then, of course, 25% going to stability miners. So PUSD Algo, it's definitely going to be pretty fun. And we've got a cool video on that. So let's play that. All right, so that's pretty cool. Check it out, PUSD Algo, the fourth stablecoin and Pulsechain, and I've gone through a lot of the big pros and cons there, which is pretty cool. So gonna be fun to see. Now we're gonna get into Hex Daily Stats in a minute. Before we do that, we're up to an hour on the live stream. Let's check out who else is in the chat, who else is coming in here. Let's see. I think we got up to Red Squirrel here. Limit orders now on Pulsex and PX. Yeah, awesome, eh? From the Tetra Dex aggregator. Very, very cool. Red Squirrel in the house. Was that an umbrella? Relaxing. Peso Dude. Bonus tardes. Says Peso Dude. Good to see you. And what else there? Matt and Barley says, has, what's it? Pulse got a gaming coin coming? Gaming coin. Yeah, Pulse Pot. I think you mean Pulse Pot. That's definitely coming. What else there? Hashtag family channel, says Brian. Yes, indeed. Wookie's got the Strategy Club invite if you want to join up. I'm going to be talking about that in a minute, but there it is, the link to join Strategy Club. Now, that's multi-chain, so we're on different chains talking about the best opportunities. And we're actually crushing it in there at the moment, doing a really good job. Red Scroll says, this is just the beginning for Tetra. Big things are coming. Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. They're definitely one of our top tech teams doing some great stuff leading DeFi on Pulsechain. And big shout out. Blair Semp, hi all. Good to see you, Blair. Welcome. Sandy Beach says, I can't wait for Tetra staking. Indeed. Big thumbs up there from Scott Vault. Thanks for the super sticker and all the best with your project. What else there? What else there? We got Brian's in there with the Discord link if you want to join up. Yep, definitely talk about that. I will be talking about it in a minute though. Duncan says, anybody using internet money wallets? Yeah, let us know in the chat if you're using internet money wallet. That'd be pretty cool. MetaMask is a nightmare for pulse balances. Yeah, that does have some issues around that for sure. Definitely worth getting onto it. KG is awesome, says Sandy Beach. Time is already stocked up, says Duncan. Nice move. I love getting free tokens. Indeed, indeed. And what else we got there? Yeah. Probably enough shilling of the Steam token. I think you've got your money's worth there for sure. I'm using Internet Money Wallet, says Sandy Beach. Nice one, Sandy. Earning those sweet crypto profits. All right, let's get into it. Hex.com. Let's go. And of course, the main event, Hex here from Richard Hart. 5th year of operation. Can you believe it? Hex is really growing up. It's almost at school. It's all basically 5. I guess it's almost at school. Now, do you start school when you're 5, or I know some people have these preschool things these days, but it depends where you are. Hex mining averages. You can buy Hex, of course, on Ethereum or Pulsechain, and then burn it for T-shares. T-shares are kind of your miners on the to mine Hex, and of course T-shares stands for trillions of shares. And check that out. So Hex.com, links in the video description. Now we're going to get to today's results, of course. Day 1494 for Ethereum, the 4th of January. The price there at 45 hundredths of a penny, just down a tad today. Yesterday it was down 9%. I didn't get to cover yesterday's metrics, if you remember. Yesterday we got a massive 7.237 Hex per T-share. Beautiful, beautiful thing. And today 6.774, which is pretty cool. That's Hex per T-share. That's what you're mining. That's the main event. That's what you're after there. How much Hex can you get for your T-shares? That is the payout, and it's going up over time. So the longer you're in, the better. You're going to get even more Hex there. The share rate was up 81 yesterday, up 20 today. We're sitting at 31,399 T-share rate. Now, earlier pays better in Hex, right? So this share rate's going up all the time. It reflects compound interest or compound yield, I should say. That's taken into account. So there we go. Average mining length 7.09 years. That is the average length of existing T-share miners. 39.42% APY today. And let's have a look at the T-share pool. Hex is really easy to understand. We have a reward pool with Hex in it. We have an ownership pool with T-shares in it. Those T-share miners in the ownership pool, they get the Hex rewards every single day. That's pretty much how it works. There's an S-load function on Pulsechain Ethereum, and it goes to when the stake matures or miner matures. It goes through and it runs through every single day's profits, and it adds them up with the S-load function, and that's how you claim it. So that's pretty much it. We're up 6,341 T-shares today. So that's good news. 15,653 yesterday. We're sitting at 9.6 million, 707,000 T-shares in the ownership pool, earning sweet Hex rewards, which is pretty cool. Let's jump over to the lock percentage of coins. 9.31% of all Hex is locked on the old Ethereum chain. Massive penalties yesterday, 10 million. And today, 1.1 million. So it's a beautiful thing. So you got to remember there's opportunity cost for people exiting their Hex positions, right? Their Hex miners. There's an opportunity cost for them. They may be trying to chase another opportunity. They may, but their T-shares go out of the pool. And of course, it benefits you because you get more of the rewards, right? There's T-shares in the pool, all things equal, or ceteris paribus, then you get more of the rewards, right? So there is a trade-off between that, and we've seen the last couple of days, a few heavy penalties in there on the Ethereum side. The reward pool now is 65 million and 550,000 today. Yesterday it was almost 70 million Hex, and that's what you got a share of, so it's pretty cool. The current change in holders up 16 liquid, down 19 miners. We're at 119,277 miners. That's the numbers for Ethereum today. Looking at Pulsechain, of course, day, what did I say, 237, 4th of January. The price is 8,300 of a penny. And of course, the price down 2.4% there at the moment. Payout per T-share, 7.6 Hex per T-share on the old Pulsechain. Share rate there up 21 to 31,380. The average mining there 6.86 years, so it's shorter than on Ethereum. We went with 707 years, so we're slightly shorter mining that on average on the old Pulsechain. The APY today, though, pretty spectacular, 42.4%, like a boss, as we say. And of course, the T-shares there down 90,800. We've got 9,692,000 T-shares on the old Pulsechain. So there we go. What else? Let's have a look at the percentage of coins locked. 9.7% of all Hex is locked on Pulsechain. Massive penalties, man, on Pulsechain lately. Look at these numbers. Spectacular. 60 million, 20 million, 17.7 million. Man, being a T-share miner is beautiful at the moment. When people capitulate for whatever reason, you get the benefit. And here we are at 73.8 million in the reward pool. Man, oh man, oh man. Look at the other day, it's 95 million. This is some crazy, crazy rewards here at the moment. And of course, your T-shares are going to keep earning every single day. So smaller T-share pool, more rewards, more higher payouts. That's just the way it goes. Liquid up at the moment, 108 liquid holders, up one miner. We have had some interesting patterns in Pulsechain with some decreases in the miners because they were pretty much going up all the time. We have seen them go down, recently. So we got into sort of mixed territory. Sort of see this is like 50 days ago, 40 days ago, 30 days ago. It's a lot of growth. Then we started getting some mixed results 20 days ago. And now today, the last 10 days have been very volatile with these down the miners there. We're 124,494 current miners on the old Pulsechain, which is about 5,000 more than there is on Ethereum. Hex.com, check it out, folks. Got any questions, get into our Discord. And of course, the Discord is here. We have two memberships of Discord. One is for Pulsechain Hex. It is $5 per month. It's a private Discord. And of course, it's about 16 cents a day. And you can get into that. Links in the video description. We also have a strategy club room, which is pretty amazing. We are on the best projects, talking about the best value and crushing it. And of course, that's multi-chain as well. So it's not just Pulsechain, it includes Ethereum and BNB and other chains. Whatever project we think is looking really amazing to make mad gains in the bull market, we strategy club room. So that is $35 a month. So you can get in there and check that out. That has got a lot of strategy and alpha in there. That's really the key part to give you the edge. So maybe you're busy, too busy in life. You don't really have enough chance to study. Maybe it's just not your thing. Maybe you don't have a good knack for it. Then you can get in the strategy club room and get all the free alpha for free. You can go and work for the week, come back, and then get the alpha and make good, maybe you make good decisions with it there. It's up to you ultimately what you do, not financial advice. Do you research and lots of stuff, but it's a pretty good discussion group in there with a lot of alpha and presentations and things like that. So strategy club room, $35 for a month. People are crushing it in there. It's so good. All right, so definitely check that out. Links in the video description. I think that's it. An hour and 10 minutes. We're doing pretty well. I think we are. Let's get back into the main chat here. Bam. There we go. And wow. Let's see how we're going. We've got a couple comments left. Pumpkin Owl says, I don't like how MetaMask stabbed us in the back. I don't trust them at all. Yeah, they're fake DeFi. And they take all the money too. They don't care about the people. Brian says Rabbi.io. Yeah, that's another good alternative. I mean, Internet Money Wallet, but Rabbi.io is another good alternative. Certainly a lot more efficient with the gas prices on the ETH chain than a MetaMask is. Pumpkin Owl says, thanks, Hex Token. We love you. I appreciate that, Pumpkin Owl. Right back at you. Appreciate that. Very, very cool. Bam, says JPOM. Bam. All right, if you want to get into more good stuff, folks, Brian says, what does Brian say? Jump in the Discord, Duncan, and we can talk about it in there. Absolutely. Made lots of money in the strategy club, says Brennan. Yeah, it has been amazing in strategy clubs, so definitely join up today. It is multi-chain as well. So if you like, we are in crypto after all. So we do like to talk about whatever's cool and making money. That's for sure. Thanks, man. You legend, says J-Pon. You're most welcome. Kind of cool. Strategy Club rocks, says Brian. It does indeed. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I will catch you again tomorrow. Should we do another show? Yeah, I think so. We'll do another show tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. And hey, look, whenever there's pullbacks, when there's fear in the streets, it's when you accumulate. Just saying. And of course, not financial advice, do your own research and all that good stuff. But man, there's some good volume to pick up there at the moment. And diversify, of course, have a diversified portfolio. A multi-chain, you've always still got to have a multi-chain, even how good Pulsechain is in the future. Still going to have a multi-chain strategy, diversified portfolio, and that's just the way it goes. This is crypto. Chase the high value. That's what you want to do. All right, I think we'll wrap up here. Let's go. Smash them likes before you go, says Duncan. Thank you, Hex Token. Great show as always. Thank you, Sandy Beach. And I hope you've reached 3,500 followers on X now. That'd be cool. See you, folks. Says Brian. Take care. All says lies beneath. Thanks all for you do to all you members there. Let's play out some cool music on the way out, eh? Let's do it. Let's do it, as we say. Let's rock and roll. Let's rock and roll. What do we got in here? We've got some cool music. Yes, we have. Yes, sir. All right, take care. Bye for now. Peace out. Subscribe, like, share, hit the bell.
Here in my $3,000 Valentino Rockstud purse, my $3,000 Prada jacket, $2,000 Prada shirt, $2,000 or $3,000 Prada pants, Prada glasses, Prada hat, Prada bracelet, and it's all product, Prada shirt, Prada hat, Prada glasses, Prada pants, and it's all nylon, so the haters' tears fall right off. Prada shirt, Prada hat, Prada glasses, Prada pants, and it's all nylon, so the haters' tears fall right off.
Lil Bubble, let me ride that rocket.